TV's greatest examples of a hobosexual king baby is Steve Brady. Do not ever date a man like this. I hate this man so much, and what I hate even more is the fact that I thought this was a good dude. Really, me had no experience with hobosexuals yet and didn't know that men like that love independent women, strong women. And he literally, I'm going to go through it. All the things that I warn y'all about, especially about hobosexuals, this Steve did. And another example of why do not be friends with benefits with any of these dudes. Miranda never liked that dude. He was a one-night stand that turned into a relationship. And then every time she tried to break it off, she would convince herself, or Carrie would convince her, that Steve's such a nice guy, you should be with Steve. No, that dude sucks, and he ruined Miranda's life. And now he's sitting in her fat apartment while she's couch surfing. But we're supposed to think he's a good guy. Okay, let me remind you who this man is. The dude literally stayed in her apartment all the time watching Scooby-Doo. He's a bartender. Last time I made a video about bartenders, people were like, oh, look, have you dated a bartender before? I'm not saying that they're terrible people, but bartenders tend to be players. And we know that Steve was also a player, also tend to be alcoholic. I've only met a couple men who are bartenders that were not awful. But okay, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. This isn't about money, by the way. It's not even about class. It's about this man seeing his meal ticket to a good life in Miranda and him having literally nothing to offer her other than probably eating this. I'm guessing he was really good at eating this because that's how he won her over every time. Eating this and pity. These men will play on your insecurities. One of the biggest insecurities he had with Miranda was the fact that she was afraid she wasn't a woman. She was afraid she was the man in the relationship, and he used that to turn the knife every time. Let me show you. When he just started moving into her place without moving in, which is what these men do, I think maybe we saw Steve's apartment once. I forget. I have to go back and look. And it was a crap hole. Why would he not stay at her place all the time? In fact, even after they broke up, this dude wouldn't leave her couch. And he was hooking up with other women while he was on her freaking couch after the breakup. Kick these men out. Kick them out the minute you break up. Do not let them weaponize your empathy and your maternal instincts, which Miranda didn't think she had, which is one reason why she kept agreeing to all this crap. Whether they were broken up or together, the dude was always there. And she'd come home to her apartment that she spent her hard-earned lawyer dollars on. And she'd be like, oh, you're still here. I didn't think we were seeing each other tonight. Don't give these men keys to your flat. They will never leave. So then he was like, well, you ruined it because I brought Chinese and now it's going to not be fun. Like, this dude is such a whiny little bitch. And he uses it to guilt her into literally everything. He even guilted her into forgiving him for cheating on her because, he wasn't sleeping with him enough. Oh, he felt neglected. Even though she was taking care of not only their child that she never wanted with him, by the way, but also she was taking care of his mother with dementia. The woman was a married single mom, also taking care of his mother-in-law, which is what these men do too. You're not only taking care of them, their children that they impregnate you with, but also their parents. That's 3 babies she got out of one king baby. And in this episode, even the way they frame it, this is why when I go back and watch this, I'm like, oh, no wonder. Because I've always related the most to Miranda. I've never liked fancy stuff, rings, jewelry. Like, I'm a tomboy. I just don't, wasn't a lawyer. I mean, she was more feminine than I've ever been. She's wearing at least heels. And so she didn't want she didn't want all the mom stuff. She didn't want all the wedding stuff. I can relate to that. But Carrie and Steve use that against her all the time to make her feel stupid for not wanting to end up with the world's biggest loser. Look at this. Carrie's narrating. Miranda absolutely loved the man inside her because after her realizing, oh my God, there's red flags, this dude never leaves, then he would, I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I guess he's doing this, but no D is good. No D is this good. The whole show and the narration and Steve himself are all like, Miranda has commitment issues. Miranda's just afraid to be vulnerable. Miranda. No! Her intuition was this dude was not good for her. And she kept not listening to her own intuition, and that's why she ended up ruining her life with this forking loser. Now, this is one of the most relatable scenes I've ever seen in my life. Because again, I have lived alone most of my life. I've been single most of my life. So when I was like, the first time I watched the show, like in my 20s, I was like, oh yeah, I can't imagine someone being in my bed. It didn't even occur to me that this man was literally always in her bed. When every year, every time I go back and watch the show, I'm like, oh my God. She was annoyed with him before they were even living together. What did he do? What? You want to throw a line down the middle because you're such a controlling, greedy woman? That's basically what he used against her, that she's the dude. By the way, I literally wrote a Glamour article about this back when I was dating my husband, about how I'm like, I am the dude in our relationship in so many ways, but you know what? The difference is my husband has never once weaponized that against me. Never! He has never done what Steve did to Miranda on a regular basis. I'm a tomboy with a very loving, emotionally intelligent, nurturing, caring. He cooks our meals. Right now he's vacuuming. I don't know if you can hear that. He loves taking care of me and all that stuff. Now, and that's brought out my soft side. But what Steve did was literally turn Miranda into his mother, who he got to also fork. And he's like, well, I mean, it wouldn't be a problem if you could like spare a drawer or something. Avoiding the real problem is that they always stay at her place because his sucks. Look at Carrie's voiceover. Most single women dream of this moment. Most single women aren't Miranda. See the messaging of that? That somehow there's something wrong with you? Like Miranda, the cold-hearted bitch, for not wanting a man that you just started dating to move into your place and take it over. Because he didn't just move in, he never left. He was always there, just like a hobosexual. He was like, I think we should move in together, by the way. We're practically living together already. Do not ever let a man use this. Don't do, She, rightfully so, is like, whoa, where'd this come from? I didn't know we were doing this. Look, we just started dating again. And you're here all the time. And like a king baby, like a narcissist, like a hobosexual. He's like, fine, I'll just go, okay? And she's like, no, don't leave. Take the key. I just feel suffocated. Yeah, I would too, babe. And then what did he do? He threw this line at her, which works every time. It's like you're the guy sometimes, Miranda. It works every time, y'all. These narcissistic hobosexuals are in survival mode and they're preying on women and they're like, what is the thing that will hit that nerve every time to get her to gaslight herself? Her fear and insecurity is that she's not a real woman because she's a corporate lawyer, went to Harvard, super successful, has everything she needs for herself, and doesn't want to just share it with some loser who watches Scooby-Doo and eats cereal all day. She knows she deserves better, right? But she's got Carrie in her ear and she's got this loser in here being like, come on, you're so rigid. You're such a dude. She even went to this stupid like dance class being like, I'm going to find my inner goddess if it kill me. They had her go back to the apartment and it's empty and she's like, oh, first time she didn't want the empty part. Y'all, this is normal to feel sad when you finally kick the hobosexual out. Do not let those momentary feelings of grief make you change your mind. That is what they are hoping for. Oh yeah? I just leave. See how you feel not getting this eaten every day. This woman wanted so bad to prove that she is not like a tomboy, cold-hearted bird that she even was like, I'll make him dinner. She's like, I can't do this. She knows she can't live with this man. He's exhausting her already. I love you, but I've never lived with anybody before. The first man that ever lived with me, hobosexual, almost unalived me. So, he didn't like ruin my entire career and life and give me a, mother-in-law I had to take care of and make me hate myself the way Steve did Miranda. But, he almost unalived me. So, apples, oranges. She's like, I'm stubborn. I like the remote. I'm scared. Perfectly relatable. Steve is going to play on that. I don't know if I can move forward, but I really don't want to lose you. This right here. If this man loved her, he would have never pressured her to move in to her place to begin with. And he would have waited as long as she needed to. And this is where Miranda became her own worst enemy. She wasn't ready. Just because Steve goes, I'm not going anywhere, she thinks, oh, maybe it won't be so bad. She talks herself into it. Look at this. Jesus, I guess I really am a woman, huh? Do you see how this show treats her like she is not a real woman because she's too successful, she's too direct, she's confident, she's got everything? The one thing that ruined that was this man right here. A week later, Steve moved in. First he dog trapped her, then he baby trapped her, then he mother-in-law trapped her. All the same. Comment for part 2.